I'm very good and I'm very excited to be back in India after 10 years. And this will be the first time I would be performing in India. So I'm very excited dancing with all this new talent and old talent, everything.
What we see when we watch dancers is who they are. There is no, you're not waiting for a language. You're not waiting for an accent. You're actually just watching the body move in space, telling you who they are.
To meet Sanjukta last year. She is a very, very well-known Kathak artist, performs globally. But the reason I actually really wanted her to be a part of this was because the first time I watched her dance, which was just in my studio, I actually teared up.
All right, wherever you are, driving to work, on your way to loved ones, make it a safe drive, and I hope we're blaring out of your speakers. Good morning. Special performance. It's called Origins, and it's an INT Aditya Birla Centre for Performing Arts production, and it is at the Jamshed Bhabha, which is such a spectacular space. Tickets are live now at Book My Show and at the venue, which is the National Centre of Performing Arts. So for those of you in Mumbai, you must make it a priority to go July the 18th, Origins. A couple of people who've been on the show before. Pia Sutaria is curator and director. The last time she was on a Zoom screen, so I'm very pleased to welcome her in person. Hi, welcome to the studio. How are you doing?
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here, and I think the last time I was on the show I was all the way in Bhutan, so it's lovely to be here in the office.
Lovely. And Manish Chauhan returns. If you remember, one of my favorite Parsis, the excellent Suni Tarapurwala introduced us to him. And she did say that he is a raging sensation, and he continues to be one. He starred in Netflix's Ye Ballet, based on his own life, and headlines the award-winning documentary Call Me Dancer. And we're very, very happy to have Manish back in the show. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hello everyone, I'm very good and I'm very excited to be back in India after 10 years. And this will be the first time I would be performing in India. So I'm very excited dancing with all this new talent and old talent, everything. Yeah.
And please welcome a veteran of the sphere. He's been around for 3 decades with ballet and modern dance companies based in the UK and the US. The latter 15 years with the Paul Taylor Dance Company, a master teacher, and really authorized to restage the works of the international award-winning choreographer Paul Taylor. This is Richard Chen See. Richard, thank you for joining us. Thank you very much.
Hello, it's very nice to be here.
And the quartet, Neeraj Lohani makes up the quartet. Neeraj is a contemporary dancer and choreographer. His training spans not just modern and jazz and ballet and aerial, but also Kathak and Kalaripattu. He's a graduate of the SNDA's Professional Dance Certification Program. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Lovely. I'm going to start with the origin of origins. Pia, you're the right person to take that. And Richard, feel free to butt in whenever if you think of something. Yeah, Pia.
Okay.
Yeah, so Origins has been in the making for a while. It's been a dream project for me. I think over my career I've had the immense privilege of working with some exceptional choreographers, dancers, practitioners, teachers, and for years I've been focusing on nurturing talent in India and sending them abroad. And I feel like now we're at this very exciting juncture where, the talent has left the country, they've achieved amazing things. And I feel like now more than ever, what we really need as a country is to bring that talent back. I think that is so important to inspire the next generation of young talent that we're nurturing here. And so I'm really excited that we've been able to pull in artists of Indian origin from the UK, from the US, and some of our most exceptional talent from the country for this performance. It's sort of, I was told not to say this, but I think of it as the Avengers of dance coming together and kind of having this amazing performance at, in my opinion, one of the most spectacular venues in the country. So it's a star-studded event, and I think what we're really celebrating is the heart and the talent that we have in our country. So I'm very excited about it, and most excited to have Richard back in India as well, because the last time I met him was 8 years ago when he was here. So it's come together beautifully.
Richard, tell us that. Give us a perspective of the talent that you see in India, and of course talent that has made its mark abroad, people like Manish and Pia who are now recognized internationally for their performing, and how happy it makes you to be back in our country.
Absolutely. Actually, the very first time that I came here was with the Paul Taylor Dance Company in 1997. And we were, in a way, a gift from the U.S. Embassy in honor of 50 years of partition and independence. I grew up in Jamaica in the West Indies. So there was something incredibly familiar to me to be in a post-colonial country.
Yeah, lots and lots of Indians, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't know. Did you grow up in Trinidad or Barbados?
No, I grew up in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, yeah.
So British West Indies. And in 2018, I got a Fulbright to be here for 6 months to teach. And when I was teaching here, I was introduced to Pia and to Neeraj and to Manish. And interestingly enough, one of my teachers from way back in California, back in 1983, I met Yehuda Mauer, which is a part of Manish's story very much.
Yeah.
And then I was also at the American Dance Festival in Durham, North Carolina, where one of Sumit's teachers, Sumit Nagdev, was.
Yeah.
Neeraj's teachers, Sumit Nagdev was. So I came here in 2018 just amazed at the amount of energy and sort of burgeoning talent that was interested in Western dance forms. And I had the great privilege of being trained in England. I went to the Royal Ballet School. I had danced classical ballet, and Pia approached me about her school that she was starting. And I'd had 15 years with Paul Taylor, so I was also teaching a lot of modern dance. And it was just so nice to be able to blend that idea of dance being an international language, and to have individual artists representing both their culture and their country and who they were as people, because what we see when we watch dancers is who they are. There is no, you're not waiting for a language, you're not waiting for an accent, you're actually just watching the body move in space telling you who they are.
Beautiful. What a way with words he has, yeah? Actually, Richard, you had me at Jamaica.
That's often the way.
What the hell? Bob Marley, Shaggy, I've revered their music. Michael Holding, Chris Gale, loved their cricket. And all these four people who are really icons in my life are from Jamaica. And now I can add you to that.
Well, my favorite story very quickly is that I grew up next to the recording studio that Bob Marley used.
Wow.
So I used to actually chat to my neighbor Bob on my way home from school.
How cool is that? I hope it still goes on, and Ziggy and the family are taking care of the studio,
This was before he had his own studio.
Okay.
Then they do still have the studio, and they've been working hard. They're a dynasty.
Yeah, they're wonderful, all of them, aren't they?
Yes, they're
beautiful,
amazing.
and they have great family values. They want to keep the legacy going. That's wonderful. Now, for those of you who tuned in and are watching this late, Origins is where you need to be on the 18th of July. It's at the Jamshed Bhabha Stage NCPA. Tickets are going out very fast. They're at Book My Show. Get on to bookmyshow.com or the app Book My Show, or go to the National Centre of Performing Arts, the box office, and you will get yourself some tickets. Neeraj, Sukshma, which is something you choreographed, was really appreciated in London. And I'm given to understand that Origins will have an excerpt from Sukshma. So talk to me about that.
So, Sukshma, right now we are doing a full run of full production in NCPA, and I think it started in 2021 when 23.
Yeah.
Sorry. 21 I started the company, and 22 I met Pia in G5A when I was performing a full piece with G5A, and that's where I met Pia, and she told me that she wanted me to choreograph something for the ICMD, which is right now it's Indian Youth Dance Company, and that's how it started. Sukshma, it started with a very small section, and I had no idea that one day we'll perform in NCPA, and it's a very privileged. I'm very, very grateful that it's a full run, it's a full piece which is going on now in NCPA.
Yeah, and in that aspect, I'd like you to talk about changes which is the excerpt that's inspired by Paul Taylor. Yeah, and how that's shaping up, how the rehearsals looking?
Rehearsals are looking great. Changes was a piece that's done to music by the Mamas and the Papas, and it is all about 1960s sort of social rebellion.
I love the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
swing, great, great 60s music. Yeah.
And I get to work with a number of students that I was first introduced to in 2018. So it's great to see them. It's great to just, watch how they enjoy the movement and also the music. I don't think a lot of them had actually ever heard them with Mamas and the Papas. So it's a fun opportunity to really share that. And like I said, it's about finding why. Why are you doing that step? And how does that kind of reflect not the literal words, but the essence of why that song was given birth?
Nice. Pia, I'd like to, from a curation perspective, talk about Aishwarya Raut. I had the good fortune of spending some time with Akram Khan. Akram was down for a performance at the NMACC.
Yeah.
And the good people at the NMACC sent him down for an interview with me, and I found him to be extremely sharp and intelligent and so passionate about what he does. And another fascinating background. He was talking about how his forefathers are from Bangladesh.
Yeah.
How he really assimilates all these dance cultures. So to have somebody who's worked with that dance company and that background coming and joining Origins.
Yeah. I've had the privilege of, again, knowing Aishwarya since she was in Bombay training here. And she's had the most extraordinary career in the UK. I can safely say, and I think Manish can actually chip in on this, that it is still very atypical for an Indian dancer to be able to leave the country and sustain themselves successfully abroad. I think a lot of students go and study and then eventually find their way back, but to be able to actually sustain themselves internationally, work with companies like the Rombe Company and the Akram Khan Company, Aishwarya has really she's lived the dream and she's living the dream. So I'm really excited for her to also come back, because I've seen firsthand when she's been here, how when she just moves, like young dancers, their eyes light up, and she's just exceptionally talented. So I think the idea of bringing Aishwarya back along with Manish was to be able to kind of, for them to showcase what they've gained from their experiences abroad, and for young dancers here to be able to experience that firsthand and maybe envision the same for themselves.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Manish, I'd like a lowdown from you on what we can expect at Origins. What is it that you're going to be performing? Is it a solo piece? What kind of storytelling can we expect?
Yes. So I'm performing a piece called Meditation on an Open Road.
Wow.
It's
I'm going to repeat that. Meditation on an Open Road. Sounds beautiful.
Yes. It's choreographed by Igal Perry. He's my director in Perry Dance Contemporary Dance Company. And he created this solo for me. I performed this in Kennedy Center first time. And it also reflects my life journey. Because as being an Indian dancer who gone to all this other country to learn Western dance forms, but in heart I will always be an Indian artist. So song is Mera Juta Hai Japani.
Oh,
exactly.
I love that. Raj Kapoor. Can't
Yes.
go wrong with Raj Kapoor.
Yeah. So Igal, he knew about this song and he don't know the meaning about it, but he choreographed and he told me, don't tell me the meaning.
Wow.
Yes. So he was just inspired by the song when he was young. In Israel, they used to play the movies of Raj Kapoor.
Very, very famous in Russia, Israel, those parts of the world.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
So he told me this song is perfect for you. And it was. Because when I performed in Kennedy Center and many Indian origin people came and they were like, we are so proud. First time we hear our song playing in a Kennedy Center. An Indian artist who's dancing on it.
This is exactly what Pia was saying. I mean, it's so wonderful to see all you artists go abroad, leave your stamp, soak in as much as you give back.
Yes.
Which is wonderful.
Yes.
And for those of you who are watching and listening, I don't know if you remember the interview we did with Manish. It was a while ago, but I'm just going to come back to his unique style. He blends b-boying, gymnastics, ballet, contemporary, Indian classical dance. He's really developed a powerful cross-cultural style, and you must go to Origins to discover more. So, really, feeling all good about it? I mean, you premiered it at the Kennedy Centre, but like they always say, dancers will always have a knot in their stomach, a little nervousness.
Kind of, because here people helped me. When I came last time for this interview, I was raising funds, and so many people like donated, and I am because of them. So now they can see me dancing what they plant, So they
beautiful,
So it's really like almost like showing back. It's like more nervous than performing in Kennedy Centre, because there people, they don't know me, but here they know. We give this guy money, we help him, this, and so I feel a responsibility, and I'm very excited also I want to thank everyone who helped me and make me reach till here.
How beautiful. Guys, if you played a small part in Manish Chauhan's journey, please be there to show that love. 18th of July, Origins at the Jamshed Bhabha. Or even if you don't know him, but you've watched Ye Ballet or you've watched Call Me Dancer, perfect opportunity for you to come and see him in the flesh doing his thing. It promises to be eternally wonderful. All right. I want to talk about the Jamshed Bhabha Stage. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's an expansive space, isn't it, Pia? And each choreographer is going to come in there and make use of the space in their own way. And talk about that. Talk about how that is unfolding right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, JBT is a big space to take on, that's for sure. And I know firsthand that even Neeraj has been adapting his original choreography to suit the stage. So there has already been work that we've been putting in to kind of make sure that it is larger than life, because the theatre is larger than life, that's for sure. But I think there's something really magical about being able to go into a space like that, because as performers ourselves, we automatically also just sort of expand. So I think I saw all of the kids come in, the youth company dancers come in a few weeks ago, and the space itself is so inspiring that I think it's added to the excitement for all of us.
That's wonderful. Also, there is a Kathak element. So let's talk about that. Pia, you can take that. Neeraj can then join in.
Yeah, I happened to meet Sanjukta last year. She is a very, very well-known Kathak artist, performs globally. But the reason I actually really wanted her to be a part of this was because the first time I watched her dance, which was just in my studio, I actually teared up. I don't think I have seen a dancer who has had the ability to really just in a simple just movement, look, turn. She just has the ability to move people. So I'm very excited to have her join our cast and bring what she does so beautifully to the lineup.
And Neeraj, in that aspect, it is, the purists will turn around and say, "Arey, what is it? How can Kathak be along with ballet or a Western art form?" But to me, it's expanding your mind, expanding your horizon. I mean, how else will we grow? With all due respect to an age-old tradition, you take the tradition and you don't mess with the tradition, but you try and do your own interpretation of it. Am I correct? Is that a nice way to describe how Indian comes into this?
So especially for the Sukshma also, I did an experiment. So first we started with simple metronome. I was like, first let me see how the body works in space. And then after some time, when I composed the music with the composer Sarthak, amazing composer, by the way, and I was like, I wanted to add something different into this music. So that's how the Kathak bowls and tabla, everything came into the picture. And that's, add a different element into the story. And it gives a lot of visual and choreographically it's beautiful, and I think that plays a very, very important part for me when I add some influence of Indian classical music into the digital music.
And if I may add to that, I think we are living in a time where collaboration is really the key word in the arts, and like Akram, who came and had his interview with you, who has made such a wonderful, successful career integrating Western and Indian culture. I feel like that is definitely what many dancers today are looking toward as well. So I think also having Sanjukta as a part of the performance, honestly, standalone is just because she's exceptional. But it just fits in because there is so much crossover now between Indian and Western dance forms.
Yeah, so just to fill you guys in, the Indian Youth Dance Company is something that Pia founded a couple of years ago, less than a couple of years ago actually, and she's been directing, curating performances not only in India, here at the NMSCC and the NCPA, but also internationally at the Place and the Royal Academy of Dance in London. I mean, a little birdie tells me that you keep going back to do refresher courses. Yeah,
I love studying.
To
yes.
London. Yeah?
Yeah.
Both your sisters love going back, doing refresher courses, studying more, and more power to you. I mean, if we don't refresh our skills or work upon them, right, Richard, then, we tend to stagnate.
I want to just add, sort of as the non-Indian at the table here, there's something about looking at dance as a language, right? What makes you tear up is your communication from it. And that idea of who you are, I identify as a Jamaican. I identify as West Indian, even though my background is full Chinese. And when I perform ballet, many people say, but you're not from Asia. And that's because of my movement. What inherently is it about being a West Indian that's so broad? And I will add to the fact that having Indian dancers who have made their careers internationally come back and perform, I know the first time that I performed back in Jamaica as an international artist, there's something so impactful that you feel like you're home. You feel like the people in the audience are not separate. You are one of them. And that's such a beautiful sort of aura with which you can enter somewhere like the Jamshed Bhabha and be able to perform and feel like you're just family.
Oh, beautiful. He's a poet, isn't he?
We need people in the audience. Be family.
That's lovely. That's lovely. That's lovely. So wonderful. Okay, just so I'm very democratic and I'm taking everybody who's involved, their name. We did talk about Sanjukta Sinha, the world-renowned and award-winning Kathak artist. There's also Kunal Sangtani, and there's also, along with Richard, Amanda Stevenson. Yeah. So I'd like you, Pia, to talk to us about Kunal and what he's bringing to the table, and Richard, for you to talk about Amanda and yourself staging this.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was actually a very last minute addition to the curation, but I happened to think about what we could do with the show that could bring in something beyond just solos and ensemble pieces. And Manish, Neeraj and Kunal actually together are going to be performing a trio. It's going to be 3 men on stage.
Nice.
And in India, we unfortunately, even though this should be more common, we don't have enough male dancers actually in training. So it's wonderful. I've been watching rehearsals. Wonderful to see the 3 of them working together. They're also close friends. So that's really nice to see their camaraderie on stage. And Kunal, I've known for a very long time. He's a very talented entrepreneurial dance leader in Bombay as well. So just seeing them all come together and watching this unfold has been really special.
And Richard, Amanda. Yeah.
So Amanda Stevenson is the manager for the Paul Taylor Dance School in New York. And we are looking at building a more sort of consistent relationship with ICMD, the Indian Youth Dance Company, and just she's here with me to really look at what is it that's here and what the potential is. And it's one thing for me on my own to go back home and say, this is what we need to do. It's another thing to have Amanda, a full-blooded American, that's there and says, yeah, we need to do this.
Yeah, wonderful. All like-minded souls coming together. Also, I did tell you about the Indian Youth Dance Company, I beg your pardon. The Indian Youth Dance Company that Pia founded just a couple of years ago. But what has been around for a few years now is the Institute of Classical and Modern Dance. And, it's an incredible company in terms of the fact that it fills the deep void that exists of vocational dance training for young dancers in India. And what Pia and her team try and do is make sure that the school sends students on scholarships to perform at top art institutions in the UK, in Europe and the US. So, and indeed, you're trying to do what Richard was just talking about, which is to build partnerships in whichever your country you go into, or look to partner with more and more people to come into India, so that there's this incredible cross-pollination of dance, isn't it, Pia?
Yeah, absolutely. I think growing up in Bombay and absolutely loving dance and wanting to be a professional dancer, I only got to my early 20s when I realized there were huge gaps in the kind of education we had access to. And I think Neeraj, Manish and I, and even Richard when he first came in 2018 will probably agree that whilst we have an immense amount of talent, we do need more structure.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we're trying to do, is to expose our talent to as much as they can, and if they decide that they can and would like to further their education abroad, then we encourage them to do that as well, so that they can hopefully come back and contribute to our growing dance community in Bombay as well, and in India.
So Manish, how are things at the Perry Dance Contemporary Dance Academy? I mean, how often do you guys go on tour? How often are you in New York City performing? I imagine very busy life.
Yeah, but I like it because that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, we have a company seasons twice a year, like we perform, and then sometime we have to go on tours. I supposed to go to Italy, couldn't go because of the visa again, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, because I have to take more time to get a visa than other dancers. But yeah, we do international tours, also national tours. So life is busy, but it's very nice to be there because all the dancers come from different countries.
Yeah.
From Japan, from Brazil, from China, from India, from here, and we in a same studio and same goal, dancing. We come together. It's like a bringing the world together, you know, dance, make bridges. So I'm so happy that I got to do that, and because of dancing I also got to travel all around the world that I couldn't able to do because my father was a taxi driver and he can't even afford a ticket to go one side to US. Pia parents helped me. I remember first time when I went out of India, they sponsors my Yehuda and Amir's ticket. So I'm
lovely.
always grateful.
More power to the Sutarias.
Yes.
Big love. Yes.
And also they bring me back too to perform.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm so grateful my parents can see me dancing first time. We were saying that it's a family show. Exactly, my whole family is coming from Himachal to see me first time dancing ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Seriously, that's
You're going to see the
highlight.
extended Chauhan family.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's
Can
wonderful.
I add one little thing in there,
Sure, Richard,
which
yeah.
is that I'm going to go back to Bob Marley, since you said you like him. But growing up, you know, you grew up on a small island, and he always said, like, you know, what you want to do is experience the world and bring the world to the island.
Lovely.
Come back home. And that's very much what I feel this is achieving. Like all this experience that these young dancers have had the opportunity out there, they bring that home, and it'll encourage Indians to continue to spread their culture outside.
Yeah, and indeed that's also what Neeraj has done. I mean, he graduates from the SNDA's Professional Dance Certification Program. He gets a full scholarship to the American Dance Festival. He trains with an international faculty, and today he's come back and he's founded Lohani Dance Theatre, and he's mentoring the next generation of Indian contemporary dancers. So good on you. And
Yeah.
how are the kids doing?
It's good. It's good. Like the main motive of coming back from USA to India, that I really wanted to start something of my own, and that's how, like in 2021, right after the COVID, I thought, you know, I want my voice to, you know, go out, and that's how, because at that time very less production was happening in India, especially in Mumbai, not in India. But I also wanted, as a young emerging choreographer, I wanted to, you know, put out my voice out there, and that's how I met all the dancers, Pia and everything. Yeah, it's been going amazing.
Lovely. So we're going to get some famous last words from Pia, if she wants to thank anybody else who's involved with the music, the lights, the extended production team, and of course maybe a word or two about Achintya Bose. We haven't spoken about Achintya Bose. This is Origins and INT Aditya Birla Centre for Performing Arts Production. Thank you the good people at the INT Aditya Birla Centre for Performing Arts. Curated and directed by Pia Sutaria. Origins is on July the 18th at the Jamshed Bhabha Theatre. Please book your tickets now on Book My Show or get to the theatre, the NCPA, at the box office and get your tickets. Yeah, so famous last words. You want to thank anybody? Just a bit on Achintya.
Yeah, no, I'd love to thank everyone who's sort of mobilized themselves to make this happen. There's an enormous team supporting this show, and it couldn't be possible without them, and also the people who are presenting this performance, which is INT Aditya Birla Centre for Performing Arts. But yeah, I would like to leave this by saying that, you know, I've seen Bombay really grow and develop over the last few years, and I feel like we are going to the theatre, we're watching musicals that are coming in from all over the world, we're celebrating artists from all over the world, as we should. But I also think that it's equally important to support and celebrate our own homegrown talent, and that was the idea behind. That's really the heart of this show, is that come to the theatre and see the exceptional talent that is most often celebrated outside our country, unfortunately. Come and watch them in Bombay this time if you can, and we would all be super grateful, because you showing up means that we can keep doing what we love. So please come. About Achintya, he is also just happened to be in Bombay. He's on a summer break. He's currently studying internationally, and he reached out and I said, of course, we'd love to have you as part of the show. Everything he does, everything he stands for aligns so deeply with what we believe in, and so he's also going to be joining the cast of Changes for the performance this evening.
Nice.
The performance on the 18th.
On the 18th. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you so
All
much.
the best. See you soon. See you soon, Neeraj.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hrishi.
Bye, Richard.
Hi.
Yeah, and thank you, Pia.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.